say one more thing. It's good to call those that you know are doing good and encourage them to do better. And continue to do good. Don't forget that part. Okay, with that said, it didn't cost us nothing, did it? Just Brother Barry's mouth. Working and yours with Sal. So we're going to go to our Heavenly Father at this time. And thank Him for allowing us to be here for this purpose of worship Him in spirit and truth. And then we have our responsibility reading. Do we have a responsibility reading? Read it, brother, right there. Okay, but you have to come up. Okay, and there. Right after I finish the prayer, everyone will stand and repeat after him. Just a responsive reader. Just a responsive reader. And here we're going to the tournament of our service. Father in heaven, thank you for your goodness and your love for mankind. Your unmerited favor for allowing us to rise this morning with our health and strength, with a mind to obedience, to place ourselves here according to your command to worship you in spirit and truth. And we could say nothing else, just being grateful and thankful to you for this. Knowing we could have been somewhere else with other things on our mind, but we allowed ourselves to be obedient to your will, and we thank you for this. I ask you, Father, to bless us and forgive us for our sins and our transgressions against thee. Create in us clean hearts, renewing the right spirit in us this morning to start this service off. That it may be done in a way where you would be pleased. And that we will gain favor with you as servants of yours and allow you to use us to carry out your will. Thank you, Father. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. I just want to take y'all time today and say, one thing that I like is week at church. And I want to thank y'all for coming out, and I appreciate that. Now we're going to take this time to welcome our guests, visitors, friends, and family. Do we have any today? Do we have any guests, visitors, or friends? Practice, I didn't bring anybody either, so we're going to have to smile, shake hands, and show ourselves a little more friendly. And go along with what you said, Brother Greg, at least we can bring back our brothers and sisters. I can keep them checked. Well, we're going to take this time so we can see each other, meet and greet. 5 minutes. Okay. We're going to try it. Okay. Shake hands and show yourself friendly. On our service time.
Before we have everybody just come toward the center, please. We're close, fellowship. We need that, okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Did you hear? We want everybody to kind of come together and just feel it fellowship. Okay? Shake hands and show yourself friendly.
I'm
You are my strength, strength like no other, strength like no other reaches to me. Repeat after me. You are my strength,
You are my strength.
strength like no other,
Strength like no other.
strength like no other
Strength like no other.
reaches to me.
Reaches to me.
The song goes like this. You are my strength, strength like no other, strength like no other reaches to me. You are my strength, strength like no other, strength like no other. Said it reaches to me. Everybody lift your voice and say, you are my strength. Oh, strength like no other. Strength like no other. Said it reaches to me. Oh, you are my hope. Oh, my hope. Hope like no other. Hope like no other. Said it reaches to me. Oh, you are my hope. Oh, my hope. Hope like no other. Said you lift me higher, higher. You lift me higher. There you go. Unfailing love, stronger, stronger than mountains, deeper than ocean. Said it reaches to me. Unfailing love, said unfailing love. Yeah, let us all stand for prayer. Girl than mountains, said it's deeper. Said it reaches. Come on, one more time in the fullness of our, oh, in the fullness of your grace, and in the power of your name. Said you lift me up, higher, lift me up, oh, in the fullness, in the talking about Jesus. Oh, you lift me up. You lift me up. Ooh, unfailing love, stronger than mountains, deeper than ocean, reaches to me.
Good morning. Let us bow and meditate on the presence of our God who is here. Dear Heavenly Father, we praise your name, Lord. We glorify your name. We are here to give honor and praise to you. We are here to obey your word and lean on each other and strengthen each other, Lord, to glorify you. We come together to study your word and meditate on your word. We have already asked for forgiveness this morning, Lord, and I believe that you have heard that prayer. So I will thank you. We will thank you. We will glorify your name all morning long and throughout the day and into the week, Lord. Thank you, Father. In the name of our Lord and Savior, we pray. Amen.
Yeah, the choir record just told me to do hallelujah. Hallelujah, let's sing that.
these 45 years and celebrating 80 years. The Lord is good. Not just some of the time. But we have a God that's good all the time. And we're grateful. I know if you could testify this morning, there would be somebody that would stand up today and say, God has been good to me. He's been better to me than I have been to myself. Being so good, God has blessed Brother and Sister Barry to be married 57 years. Happy birthday to you. I said happy birthday, but I meant the anniversary. But I'm just happy to see the two of them and all of us who have been able to live and set some type of image that young people can emulate. That young married people can say, you can make it if you try. Now this past week, let me tell you, the Lord blessed us this week. We had a young man that came to us by way of Tennessee, Mississippi. Tennessee borders the state of Mississippi. He's over there in South Haven. Just up the road, down the road, when you go south. He brought us some beautiful lessons. Faithful but frustrated. Don't panic. It's just a test. He says, winning with a bad hand. Now, I don't know if you know it or not, but we recorded many of his lessons. If you missed your blessing this week, you can still catch it this Sunday. Now I have the privilege of reading and you hearing the scripture that was read earlier today by one of our young upcoming preachers. I want you to turn your book of God's Bible, 2 Samuel chapter 8, verse number 1. I want to put a pin there because I believe this will serve as a launching pad for our thoughts today.
All right.
I won't have you to stand, but I do want you to read. And after this, it came to pass that David smote the Philistines. He subdued them. O Lord God, I'm sorry. Forgive me, I read ahead of myself. So let me do it again. And after this came to pass that David smote the Philistines, subdued them, and David took Mikthar out of the hand of the Philistines.
All right.
before I began to talk about David and his victories this morning, let me tell you of some conclusions that I've come to after 45 years of preaching. It seems to me that the sermons I preached, the ones that have been received with the greatest appreciation and accommodation, are sermons and stories about loss, failure, and defeat.
All right.
Sermons about people dying and going on the other side. You say, brother preacher, where am I going and why? Because we speak relevantly to the sad and miserable conditions that we live in.
All right.
Now, in society today, things seem to be getting worse. Many of us are sitting here saying, woe is me. We seem in this day and generation to identify more with the Cain and his murder, Abraham and his lie,
All right.
Jacob and his deceitfulness, Samson and his unfaithfulness, Saul in his pride, David in his adultery, Ahab in his thievery, Peter in his denial, Judas in his betrayal, Mary Magdalene in her harlotry. There is no doubt, when we view our society, there is no doubt that there is plenty to see. If we just look at the dark side of life, we can enumerate the joblessness.
All right.
We can talk about the sickness and epidemics, the political unrest, the international turmoil. We can talk about the drug problems, the cheating, the swindling, the backstabbing, the murmuring, and the complaining. We can talk about it if we really want to buy into it.
All right.
I want you to know that as a preacher, I can't make the night any darker. I can't paint sin any blacker. I can't make the devil any meaner. No matter how long and how hard I preached about these things.
All right, sir.
It was quoted some time ago. Sufficient unto the day is the evil thereof. The question is, do you know what it means? What it really means is that today is bad enough. Don't make it any worse from borrowing from tomorrow's troubles.
All right, sir.
I really don't know what you're going through today. But if by chance you miss this revival this week, I want you to know there is an after this in our future.
All right.
I I want to declare to the church this morning that there is something good coming after this.
All right.
For when you look at 1 Samuel or 2 Samuel, the Bible lets us know how David subdued Mephibosheth in the hands of the Philistines as well. But after this, what are you saying, Brother Smith? Somebody needed, and after this, what I want you to do this morning is help me to minister to you after this.
All right.
I want you to grab your neighbor. Take the hand of your neighbor, if you will, right now. Take your neighbor's hand. Whoever's close to you, take him. And say, neighbor, hold on.
Hold on.
Don't lose hope.
Don't lose hope.
Don't throw in the towel.
Don't throw in the towel.
Don't give up.
Don't give up.
Don't turn or switch off your faith.
Don't turn or switch off.
Tell them there's something beyond this.
There's something beyond this.
This is not the end.
This is not the end.
It's just a temporary inconvenience.
It's just a temporary inconvenience.
This is just a hallway.
This is just a hallway.
This is the in-between place.
This is the in-between place.
This is that valley.
This is that valley.
Between two mountains.
Between two mountains.
Sometimes
this place is called
the meantime.
the meantime.
Well, let me explain to you now what the meantime. The meantime suggests to us this morning is pain. The meantime says it's trying. The meantime tells us it's dark and the days are uncertain. You all will recall when we go back to the prophet Elijah, he called down fire from heaven. And after his servant sees this little cloud, the Bible says, and it came to pass in the meantime that the heaven was black with the clouds and the wind, and there was a great rain. That great rain that came after the meantime. I'm just suggesting this morning the great blessings always occur after the meantime. In the meantime, there were dark clouds. In the meantime, there was winds blowing. I don't know this morning, but I believe somebody today know exactly what I'm talking about. Because somebody has arrived here this morning, sitting in their meantime. When I look at this word, because when you look in the Bible, it says mean, why? But it can be used as meantime. And I thought about sometimes. And as I rehearsed these terms, it reminded me of some of the chains of bitterness, the chains of hatred, a chains of malice. It reminded me of some of the songs that we used to sing. Those songs depicted the deepest of frustration. Those songs depicted the frustration of loneliness. Those songs were written and rooted in the tradition of black music.
All right.
The songs used to say, sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like a motherless child.
Yeah.
A long way from home. Sometimes I don't feel that way all the time. But sometimes, every now and then, I get that feeling.
All right.
Then I cannot help but recall the lyrics of that other changing, unpredictable song. Sometimes I'm up,
Yeah.
and sometimes I'm down. Sometimes I'm almost down to the ground.
Yeah.
And all of us who have lived long enough
Come on.
to experience that roller coaster,
Yeah.
that depressive, that discouraging feeling, the harsh winds of adversity and blowing in us. We've been there. We've been in our mean time.
Yeah.
We've been in our sometime. We've been in our meanwhile. Can I get a witness? But you know, we need some dark clouds.
That's right.
Because when you deal with your sometimes meanwhile, yes, and meantime, that's when the wind is blowing in your face. And all it's doing is testing. It's testing you and telling you to keep on waiting.
All right.
Keep on pressing. In other words, that's your valley of trusting. That's your valley of testing. That's the place where God's going to find if you are real or unreal. Can I get a witness this morning? Is there anybody that will understand? But let me get back to the story, because as you look into this book, see, I'm not going to be long. After this, David smote the Philistines and subdued them. I thought I'd take the time to tell you what the word smote really means. In the context, I believe, is attack, smite, hit, conquer, destroy,
All right.
and then he subdued them.
Yeah.
These words, subdue, suggest to us this morning to bring low, to bring into subjection,
Yeah.
to bring us to a point, to get us to understand we need to humble ourselves.
All right.
I need to say something right here that we must always keep in mind. God never told us that the road would be easy. God never told us that there will be no problem. He never told us that we wouldn't have to deal with sickness. He didn't tell us that our families, he never told us our families are going to sometime put us through hell.
All right.
Can I get a witness? Anybody here know what I'm talking about? But listen, the Bible says in Psalm 34 and verse number 19, many, did you hear what I said? Repeat it. Many are the affliction of the righteous. But hold on. After a while, now watch this. I got to put mine in now. Listen, he doesn't abandon you. In your sickness, he does not leave you. Whatever you're going through, he's going with it. He's pulling for you. He knows the devil is pulling one way, but he's got your back. Because goodness and mercy even will follow you in your hard times as well. But when you pass through the waters, I'll be with thee. Though the rivers shall overflow thee, when thou walkest through the fire, thou shalt not be burned. He said you won't be burned. The flames will be there. The smoke will be there. But you won't be burned. Neither shall the flame kindle upon thee. Listen, after this, if you don't give up, after this, if you don't give in to fear, after this, if we don't give up and just keep on walking through the fire, after this, if we keep on praising God, even in the midnight of our hour, that we can be like Paul and Silas in the midst of their infirmities, in the midst of their persecution, they were able to sing. I don't know what songs they were singing, but I know one thing. They probably were singing "Trouble Don't Last Always." I don't know what they were singing, but they said, if I just keep waiting a little bit longer, everything's going to be all right. After this, if we hold on to his word, if we face every contrary and negative report with the boldness of the Lord, we'll be all right. He said he'll what? Deliver us. He said what? The fire won't burn us. Good God Almighty. Listen, I don't know what this is for you today. I don't know if the doctor has brought you a bad report. This may be a long season of sickness for you. This may be a loss of a loved one. This may be a painful divorce. It may be a deep pit of death that you fall in. I just don't know. I don't know, and I don't have to know. All I need to know is this. After this, God never promised me a rose of garden. He never promised me a trouble-free life. He never promised me a mountain with no hills to climb. He did not promise me, and after this, are you all following me? Yes, David fought with the Philistines. Sorry, he did promise me after this. Yeah, back up, Smith. And when you back up, just hook up and go on, bring it, and go forward. That's what I try to teach them. Yeah, I'm at the age now, I can back up, hook up, and go on. Yes, David fought with the Philistines. It caused them so much grief. Yes, they won a few rounds. David took some hits, and David felt the pain. So I can't tell you that being a Christian is trouble-free. I can't tell you that you walk through the valley of the shadow of death and not have to worry about the devil pursuing you. Listen, I can't tell you that you'll never hear a doctor's bad report. I can't tell you this morning that you won't have to cry over your wayward children. I don't have to tell you this morning, and I can't, that you're going to be lied on. But listen, and you might even lose the one you love. But I can tell you, don't quit. I can tell when you want to throw in the towel, don't quit. Because if you quit, you can't deal with after this in a positive way. Because if I had time, the Bible said after the death comes the judgment. So I don't want you to deal with after this in that context. But let's look at the story as I close. The Bible said David smote the Philistines and he subdued them.
All right.
And David smote them. He humiliated them. He embarrassed them. He put them to shame. And I want you all to understand the humiliating and those things that happen that brings us into subjection. A lot of times, that's the reason why we're dealing with so many things, from the White House to our house.
All right.
Are y'all following me? But let me tell you something. I need to tell you something. Every time the devil throws something at you, that God's there. Every time he sets a trap for you, God's there. Every time an offense he throws, it fails to stick because God is there. Every time he knocks you down, God will bring you back. Every time sometimes people throw backfires in your face and lies, don't worry. Let's put the verse that Jesus makes all the difference in.
All right.
So, Brother Smith, I just want to close by telling you, brothers and sisters, because as I said, I am not going to be long, but I sure want to be strong.
All right.
Let me put this first about David's change. Let me just tell you, Jesus makes the difference.
Amen.
He makes the difference between being a victor or a victim. And the reason why I say that this morning, because he's the master of the sea.
That's right.
I say it this morning because he commands the wind. He speaks to the waves. The waves that blows into our lives, the storms, he can say, peace, be still.
Yeah.
Sometimes, I can't predict everything that happens to you. But sometimes Jesus, he will always be with you. Listen, and if he's with us all the time, then we don't have to worry about meanwhile or sometimes. May I recommend him to you today. If you're struggling with your life this morning and you haven't claimed him, if you lost your faith and let go of his hand in the times of trouble, let me tell you, 100 years from now, it would not make no difference whether you live in a mansion or in a rented room. It don't make any difference whether you wore tailor-made clothes or basement bargains. Yes. It doesn't make any difference if you had a vacation in the Caribbean or you just couldn't afford to go any further than your backyard. It don't make any difference if you ate a T-bone steak or either you just ate a peanut butter and jelly. It doesn't make any difference if you slept in a gold bed or tell you, in the meantime, listen, if his servants wait on you, if you will take the time, God will see you through. Oh, brothers and sisters, this is the time. After. This is the after. You got an after now. An after will mean that blessings are going to come. After, yes, after you've gone through hell. Did you hear what I said? Some of us has gone through hell. But after a while. After a while. The Lord will take meantime, after a while, and all put it together. It said, well done, my faithful servant. Brothers and sisters, I pray to you, take advantage of this great meeting we had this week. Don't lose your fire. Don't let anybody put out your flame. Keep burning deep within. Because God has some blessings for us all. You got it. Now give it to somebody else. It's no good to get it and not give it. Always keep in mind you got to share it. And when you do, God will bless you. If you're here today and you're subject to the Savior's invitation, you haven't obeyed the gospel. And you can't look forward to it. And after this, I want to tell you this. Now is your time. Now is the day. This is the day of salvation. The Lord is calling you. If you're not a member of his church, you say all you have to do is repent. Luke 13:3. Romans 10:9 and 10 said if you confess it, and then listen, confessing is one thing, but being saved is another. Because Jesus said, he that believeth and is baptized shall be saved. So you got to be baptized. I know what the denominational worlds are saying to people. You don't have to be baptized, but you can't find the consistency of that in the New Testament. You can't even find it in the biography of Jesus' life, because Jesus was called, he said, this is my son, what's it? Come on now. Whom I'm well pleased. I knew it was coming to me. See, when you get my age, every time, now and then, you have to and push and try to pull it forward. But this is my son, whom I'm well pleased. But when he didn't say it, he said it on two separate occasions that I recall. One was when he was baptized and came up out of the water. Can I get a witness? Those that know the book. The other one was when he was on the mountain of transfiguration. So I'm just trying to tell you, brothers and sisters, don't play baptism cheap. Because you can't see it. Don't mean a thing, because you operating by faith. All right. If you believe it, he'll make sure it happens. If you're here today and you're subject today, Savior, please come while we sing the Savior's invitation.
Everybody ought to hold to his hand. Hold on to my God's unchanging. Everybody ought to hold to his hand. Hold on to my God's unchanging hand. Said you ought to be filled up. Somebody on time now. Hold on to God's unchanging hand. Oh, everybody hold to his hand. Hold on to my God's unchanging hand. Oh, everybody hold you come? Won't you come? Will there be somebody today? Lord, I want to go ahead and rededicate myself to you. I want to feel the Holy Spirit. I want to know you anointed me. I want to know you got me. Why don't you come today? Everybody ought to hold to his hand. Hold on to my God's unchanging. Everybody ought to hold to his hand. Hold on to God's unchanging. If you do, you will be. Your hope someday turn. God's unchanging. Now, sisters, won't you hold to his hand? Hold on to my God's unchanging hand. Oh, sisters, won't you hold to his hand? Hold on to God's unchanging hand. If you do, you can be your hope someday. Turn to God's unchanging. Now, brothers, won't you hold to his hand? Hold on to God's unchanging hand. Now, brothers, won't you hold to his hand? Hold on to God's unchanging hand. If you do, you will be your hope someday. Turn to God's unchanging hand. Hallelujah. I really feel like taking